Reclaimed cedar shakes, a type of rustic hand-split shingle, with custom rounded edges were used to clad the exterior of bird hut. The size and height of each birdhouse corresponds to a different species of bird known to roost in the forest. The apex of the steeply pitched roof reaches 22 feet from the forest floor. Mark Erickson, the entrance to bird hut leads down a rocky path to an adjacent spring and campsite. Mark Erickson, new pine 2x4s were used to frame the cabin, while plywood was used for the interior subsheathing as well as the birdhouses and shelving. Mark Erickson, cabin on a rock is precariously perched to afford optimal views of the surrounding mountains. Matt Delfinich, the project's material palette makes the most of the ample natural light that the cabin receives. The blackwood stove naturally stands out in these surroundings, as does the point past the window wall. Matt Delfinich, the window wall runs the length of the cabin and provides views from the living room and kitchen areas. Matt Delfinich, as the programmatic requirements for the cabin expanded, so too did the floor area, and a loft-style second floor was added. Folded stainless steel was used for the kitchen and the double-height shower in the bathroom, tying together the usable areas. Matt Delfinich, the concrete piers that the cabin sits on are visible below the deck. Tongue and groove cedar boards were used to clad the twisting, turning exterior, and standing seam aluminum panels were used for the roof. Matt Delfinich, the Sol Coffee mobile espresso bar features several pull-out sections that reveal signage and tables for coffee accoutrements. The jagged roofline references Colorado's mountainous terrain. Courtesy Hyperlocal Workshop, the truck's polycarbonate cladding allows light to pass through during the day. Courtesy Hyperlocal Workshop, the U-shaped kitchen opens to patrons at both the back and through a side window. An Astoria dual-fuel lever espresso machine, sink, refrigerator, microwave, coffee grinder, and Norritz NRC 661 condensing on-demand water heater ensures Sol can serve up the same drinks as a traditional cafe. Courtesy Hyperlocal Workshop, as land prices continue to rise and super tall skyscrapers flourish, there's been a resurgence of smaller, more intimately crafted spaces that prize attention to detail over grandiose statements. Accessory dwelling units, autos, tiny homes, backyard studios, and obsessively detailed retail and restaurants are blowing up across Instagram and design-obsessed blogs. Whether it's a self-constructed, modest wood cottage built with knowledge from a pattern language, the Olivia Wilde designed tiny home commissioned by Dunkin' Donuts, or a Beijing tea house clad in polyethylene bricks by Kengo Kuma, these small spaces have captured the imagination of the public as well as architects. The reason should be obvious. They're photogenic, self-contained worlds that can reveal themselves, and the design narrative, more easily than the average skyscraper. Small spaces bring with them a unique set of challenges and opportunities. The spatial constraints are obvious, but programming and mechanical considerations can hamstring the most ambitious plans. On the flip side, the flexibility, low cost, quick construction times, and required attention to detail can result in truly experimental, and beautiful, spaces. When the Architects newspaper selected the 2018 Best of Design Awards winners for small spaces, the editors looked for exemplary projects that made the most out of their miniature means. From a mobile espresso bar in Colorado that took home top honors to a cabin perched above the White Mountains region in New Hampshire, the following projects rose above the rest in 2018. Bird Hut Studio North Windermere, British Columbia. Circular cutouts extend from Bird Hut's entrance to the rear of the cabin, larger versions of the portals used by the birds. A bridge connects Bird Hut's entrance to a stone path that leads back to a natural spring and campsite. Mark Erickson, perched in the temperate forest that blankets the mountains of the Columbia Valley, is an A-frame cabin that welcomes both humans and birds. With 12 nesting areas built into the project's facade, Studio North has designed a fractalized birdhouse that also fits 2 humans. The 100-square-foot cabin is a passive intervention in the landscape. Nearly all of the materials used to build the retreat were locally scavenged. Lodgepole pine felled by a recent forest fire was employed to build the cross-bracing that lifts Bird Hut 9 feet off the ground, and the timber for the deck and cladding were taken from an older cabin. 8 mm thick polycarbonate panels clad both sides of bird hut and, much like a greenhouse, trap sunlight to heat the interior. The translucent panels also visually dissolve the hut into the canopy. Circular windows on either side of the treehouse provide passive ventilation. Cabin on a rock. Iconda Architects, White Mountains, New Hampshire. A 24-foot wide sliding glass window wall anchors the cabin and provides panoramic views of the surrounding mountains. Matt Delfinich, you could call it glamping, but don't call it easy. When Massachusetts-based Iconda Architects was tasked with designing a cabin for a family of 4 on a rocky granite outcropping in the White Mountains of New Hampshire, uneven topography proved both a challenge and an inspiration. Instead of leveling the precariously peaked site, the 900-square-foot cabin cantilevers out atop 9 hand-poured concrete footings. Because of the limited amount of granite the team had to build on, a loft area was added, and the cabin's massing was sloped and carved away to prevent snow buildup, follow the natural contours of the site, and preserve views of the surrounding mountains. The cabin's massing was pushed, pulled, and twisted to accommodate the client's requests. Courtesy Iconda Architects, a simple material palette of birch planks and sheetrock keeps the interior light and playful even in the dim winter months and lends gravitas to the blackwood stove. The cabin's framing members were pre-cut and assembled on site, allowing the team to quickly assemble the building despite its complex geometry. Sol Coffee Mobile Espresso Bar Hyperlocal Workshop, Longmont, Colorado. The truck's distinct shape helps it stand out from its competitors and makes it instantly recognizable. Courtesy Hyperlocal Workshop, designing a mobile coffee bar that would bring high-quality craft roasts to discerning customers on the street was a challenge that held personal stakes for Andrew Michler. He is both the principal of Masonville-based design firm Hyperlocal Workshop and a co-owner of the coffee bar itself. In order to bring the cafe experience to a 1979 Toyota Dolphin camper, Hyperlocal had to balance the energy requirements of a fridge, water heater, espresso machine, grinders, and brewers against the truck's 115-square-foot footprint. Instead of a smoky diesel generator,